Now, there are a lot of important decisions for Montanans to make in the midterm election, and not all involve politicians. You'll also find two big initiatives on the ballot, and tonight we reveal the results of the MTN News Montana State University poll, showing how voters appear to be leaning. MTN's Russ Riesinger is here to break down the numbers.
When it comes to the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House race, most of the 2,000 voters we polled had already made up their minds. But voters aren't nearly as certain when it comes to the two initiatives on the ballot.
Despite Big Tobacco spending more than $17 million to try and influence Montana voters,
185 is a massive new tax increase that deceptively claims to fund Medicaid expansion.
Our MTN MSU poll shows more people in favor of raising tobacco taxes to continue funding Medicaid expansion than against, but just barely. It's a toss-up with 41.4% in favor of I-185 and 40.8% against. 17.3% don't know, and what they decide will make the difference.
You have to realize most people, if you don't know, either you're not going to vote at all, or you're going to vote the default position, which is no, right? You don't want to change the law. So this tight race for 185 is probably to benefit for the opponents of 185 rather than the proponents of 185.
The other initiative, 186, which would require permits for new hard rock mines in the state to be denied unless strict environmental requirements are met, appears to have a better chance of passing. 50.6% support the initiative, 28.6% oppose it, but there's still the unknown of those who don't know, 19.8%, and that could make it much closer than it appears.
It sounds like a good issue. Like, we want to hold mines accountable. We want to have clean water. So I think this one has a better chance of passing, but it's ultra tight. I actually think when you take the don't knows into account, this is probably too close to call.
So those don't knows, the people who have not yet made up their minds, could very well decide what happens with these two initiatives on Election Day when they do finally make up their minds.
We also took a look at the 6-year levy. Almost 54% of voters polled say they support it. Only about 22% were against it. That's about the same number that said they were undecided. The MTN MSU poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 2.5%.